Hi guys, Assalamu alaikum. This is Mujahid Shahid connecting with you from Artiago. Today, on the 14th of August, we are celebrating the unsung heroes of Pakistan, people who have done wonders for the country. We are connecting with Miss Fatima Hussain. Miss Fatima is a model or humanitarian, a definite inspiration to a lot of people. We're connecting with her now. We're going to find out a lot more about her life and experiences as a humanitarian in Pakistan. We're waiting to connect. Hi, ma'am Fatma. Would be great if you could send me a request. Awesome. I have your request. We're connecting with Miss Fatma Hussain now. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am Fatma. How are you?
Walaikum assalam. I am doing great. Happy Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day to you too. How are you? How's the lockdown treating you?
I am great. The lockdown has not been too bad, and kind of we're back to work as
Mm-hmm.
teachers. But we've
Mm-hmm.
been working all along with online sessions and things happening. So yeah,
That's
you tell
great.
me.
That's great. It was okay. It took me a while to adapt. So yeah, but
So
that's
it's
okay.
your
That's just how life is.
it's your third session for today, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. But internet and Instagram are still not on my side. So I'm sorry about the all the lag and everything. So
Is the
yeah,
lighting and everything fine?
yeah, it's perfect.
Okay,
It's perfect.
perfect, perfect.
I was just telling the viewers how you're an inspiration to a lot of people and how you've changed a lot of lives. It would be great if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, about your experiences.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Fatima Hussain, and I have been doing community service as told earlier over here as well for the past 22 years of my life. And I started when I was 16. And
Mm-hmm.
don't do the math, I am 38. And I head community service at Foundation Public School O-Level Defense Campus and the A-Level Campus.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting things about me are that I meditate, I love to dance, and I love art. So all these things kind of add up to who I am. And would you want me to tell you how the journey began right from here?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I was this young, very energetic, very hyper kid, and who wanted to do a lot, who had a lot of energy. So this started in my A levels, and I had
Mm-hmm.
initially done my O levels from an institution that did not have so much extracurricular. So when I
Okay.
went into the school, which is Foundation Public School again, I am the first A level batch from there, and
Wow.
that's. I had no idea it's going to change my life. I mean, just my A levels is going to completely change my life. So there was this organization called Aura, Alumni Rehabilitation Association, and that was the organization that just changed my entire life's direction. These kids had cerebral palsy, and I just decided to work for them. And suddenly, like how you say, universe aapki taraf cheezein bhejti hai, and you just have to pick them up, and just
Okay.
like you send the session. Anyways, so this is how what happened was that time this is back in 1999 when Pakistan was having the World Cup, and these bats were introduced, and everyone was getting these signed bats, but of course they had a sticker on them. But there was a lot of this, bats being distributed, and Pakistan cricket craze, and how we get united as a country and everything. So that's what was happening, and that time somebody offered me that they had a lot of stock that was left. They said, give us our cost price, and you can sell it for whatever you feel like. So we had a
Okay.
mela,
Mm-hmm.
and in that mela, I kind of sold, 20 bats, and my principal was like, wow, you did a
Oh.
fantastic job. And I was like, no. And then I wrote to the owner of Foundation Public School at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same owner, Mrs. Yasmin Manas.
Mm-hmm.
And she had no idea. I'm sure she still does not have that great of an idea. That she, on my permission, I wanted to put up a stall for like 2 weeks outside school, sell it to parents and students, and convince people. And she said yes. That one
Okay.
yes changed everything. In 2 weeks, I sold 565 bats. Out at
Whoa.
school,
Wow.
collected all that money on my own,
Mm-hmm.
all that amount, and got connected with my own connections, everything, but the total was 565. And at
Wow.
that time, I gave 20,000 charity to Aura. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how life changed. And then, we kept doing projects and things and excitement. And बस वो उस वक्त ये होता है कि एक पैशन सेट हो गया. अगर आप में वो सीड
Mm-hmm.
आ गया और वो पैशन सेट हो गया, then
जी.
you are unstoppable. Like nobody can
बिल्कुल.
stop you. And then I
वैसे.
moved on. I went to university, and while I went to university, I was, at that time, Zabas was newly born, right? And at that time, there weren't so many organizations, but I looked at the people and I was like, they're feeling something that they need to do. And I wanted to do something there. So I started with, telling the CRs in classes to collect a certain amount. And, how when you start fundraising on your own and you do not have an organization backing you, people, question your credibility. And they are
बिल्कुल.
like, oh my God, what is she doing? Why is she being so nice? Why is she so kind? Is there something behind it? Or, what's up? So they constantly question the goodness that with all honesty you have. But I do understand they also have a reason for it. But goodness is questioned more than anything wrong in our society. So then a friend of mine said, why don't you start Rotrack? And I was like, no, I don't want to start Rotrack. Rotrack is the sub club of Rotary International.
Okay.
And, it's for age 18 to 30. And I was like, and then I realized that if I wanted to continue, I needed to get something solid on with me, right? And then I started the first institute-based Rotrack club ever in Pakistan, Afghanistan. At that time, it was one district 3270, and there were no institute-based Rotrack clubs. And I think everybody thought they would die. So when I started, it was another new Pandora box. Like first we were doing this, and now there's a new Pandora box, and then, but when you really, really want to do something, the whole universe starts helping you. And I'm not saying only help comes, trouble also comes. It's not just help. But, and that's how the first institute-based Rotrack Club started. And so then that happened, and then I started another Rotrack Club. So I was the first charter president, female. So these things happened, and I moved on. I had no idea at that time that I will ever be teaching. And teaching community service was never, ever on the plate, And then the journey changed from, standing as a volunteer, leading people, to mentoring young adults, showing them, with teenagers, it's a very different kind of psyche. It's not really the same as you would say with when you yourself are volunteering. So then that journey started, and I think 22 years, and I've never looked back, and I'm very glad where I am. Yeah.
Sounds amazing. Sounds
Thank
like
you.
quite a journey.
Yes.
तो अब आगे क्या plans है मैम आपके?
So from always, my only one philosophy has been there is no plan, and I think that's the greatest thing.
That is the greatest plan.
I just take what the universe has sent to me, and like when I started this job at Foundation, initially as a coordinator of community service, they had told me to sign for this training to sign a bond for 3 years, and I was like, 3 years? I haven't even seen like a year in my life. Like I don't plan ahead. Like 3 years is huge. What are we talking about? And you won't believe it. I think I'm nearing. Inshallah, fingers crossed, I'm nearing 9 years, and it's
wow.
And I don't feel like it's been that long. It's it's just adding up.
Been a decade.
From O levels to A levels, and now I'm from grade 7 to grade 13. It's like such a huge, diversified age bracket. And then I continue, doing other things as well, like my own volunteering, and that's how it happens. And let's see. I think these live shows are this new thing that's happened in this COVID time period. I was not a person who would ever go live. I not put on a single video of mine online, and this is the first time. Like I just posted on Facebook today that this is my first live Insta session. And I just made an account, so it's that.
Yeah.
That's how things are happening and rolling.
We're
around.
all adapting.
Yeah.
All thanks to the COVID-19. Yeah. Okay. So, did you जब आपने शुरू किया, when you finally signed up for this community service, and I mean you started working at Foundation Public School, did you have any short-term or long-term goals back then?
Like I said, no goals, no plans, one day at a time. And when they told me to even sign something for 3 years, I was like, not sure about that. But when you're new at something and somebody asks how long are you going to go, is this going to end, and stuff like that. So at that time, when you're just starting, you have no idea. But
of course,
now that I am there and I'm doing it every day, like I know it's just become part of me. I don't know if I stop doing this, how would my soul feel? So it's just about now. Every day is about inspiring, giving back, more projects, more creativity. Like we adapted to COVID. I mean, people ask me, so community service must not be happening. I was like, of course it's happening. They're like, really? I was like, yeah, because we planned and we started working during COVID times, We designed projects for our grade 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, A-levels. All of them are doing something or the other. And, we started with the Indus Hospital, their digital campaign. And right now they had their live session, when they launched their volunteer program on 12th August. So they recognize Foundation Public School, their students, for the work that we've been doing, the funds we've raised, and, all the support and awareness that we've been working with. And then there are students of mine who are teaching other people, whether it's art, whether it's baking, whether it's, academics, so technology. And our concept is, okay, fine, we know we cannot teach the absolute underprivileged, but we can do something for someone, right? And then if you can do something for someone, then why not? It could even be your grandparent, it could even be your sibling, it could even be your neighbor, it could be your little cousin. But the idea is, as a volunteer, you need to do it absolutely free. So yeah, that is for sure what's happening.
Zabardast. अच्छा मैम, अगर आप हमें थोड़ा सा बताएं कि कम्युनिटी सर्विस के लिए साइन अप करने के लिए does a volunteer need some sort of a qualification के ओके अगर आपने O levels किया हुआ है तभी आप आ सकते हैं, आपने A levels किया हुआ है तभी आप आ सकते हैं, या आप किसी भी स्टेज पे हैं तो आप कम्युनिटी सर्विस कर सकते हैं?
Okay, so now these are two questions. Okay, one is for the sign up. Okay, so every organization has their own criteria, their own age limit, their own requirements, right? But for community service, you definitely don't need an age. And I'll tell you that, like when we started off, I told you I started my community service at 16. But honestly, I started when I was in class 1. And I still remember in class 1, I stayed back after school and I made this art decoration piece, and we put candles, and I have a certificate. Like, at 38, I have a certificate from class 1. And literally, I know my friends who have kids, who they teach, who they take with them, and they help them, distribute goodies, distribute food, distribute things. So there is no age limit from the younger age. And trust me, it's still the adult age. There are people who are inspiring, they're teachers, and there are other people who are like constantly, when we say community service, people think के underprivileged को जाके पढ़ा रहे हैं या गरीब बस्ती में जाके कर रहे हैं तो ही community service है. But community service तो बहुत बड़ा एक platform है. From the birds to the plants to the animals to human beings to even your historical places. Everything is when you are building your community. So, you know, like when older people are telling their stories, like abhi Independence Day pe kitne log narrate kar rahe hain stories.
जी
And you know, when they can pass on a storytelling skill, some कोई उस जमाने में बनाए हुए कोई खाने के अंदाज कोई और चीज, it's all community service, it's all tradition being passed on, it's so much. So no age limit for doing community service. But
सही
when you come to organizations for sign-ups, every place has its own, you know, age limits. Like for example, if you know, you want to go to a hospital, they might just see that you're 16 or 18. If you want to, you know, teach at a say TCF ka Rehbar program, you have to be a certain graduate professional. So there are different things that are required, you know,
And-
depending on the organization.
Understood.
And we are working with all age groups. So yeah.
जबरदस्त जबरदस्त अच्छा मैम जितनी भी आपने कम्युनिटी सर्विस की है ओवर द पास्ट 22 इयर्स उसके अंदर आपको किसी किस्म के मसले मसाइल पेश आए
Oh my god, oh my god. Okay, so सबसे पहली बात जिसे I want to make this very clear to everybody कि जब कहते हैं ना कि अच्छा काम करोगे तो मुश्किलें बहुत आती हैं, तो बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा आती हैं. Like for someone, if they need to put in one effort, we need to put in 10 times the effort. Okay. Whenever I'm going on ground, I don't have a plan A. I have a plan A, I have a plan B, I have a plan C, and I have a plan D. And you know what? When none of those plans work, then I just have to figure out something on ground at that time. And
awesome.
And there's so many things that you just cannot really like understand. Like sometimes it would be the weather, sometimes it could be the city situation. I mean, we live in a city which is so unpredictable. It's beautiful. It's love. Karachi is nothing less than love. But it has its challenges, it has its requirements that you need to understand and then work around. And then, you know, when you're on ground and you're working with the human person, right? When we're working with humans, कोई बीमार हो जाएगा, किसी का ड्राइवर नहीं आएगा, किसी के साथ कोई और मसले हो जाएंगे. And at that time, you have to stay positive. You have to be very compassionate. You know, you cannot be like lashing out and saying, oh my God. You know, you just have to understand that, okay, fine, this is happening. And you have to figure out how will you be able to maneuver through this, leave a positive impact, let nobody know that your whole world was collapsing, and deliver. So that's what it's always taught me. And all these things, whether it's been road track, whether it's been Rotary, whether it's my own volunteer work, whether it's been teaching students, things don't go according to plan. But they happen, and they happen for the betterment of the society. For sure.
Agree. Acha, so do you what do you do personally okay, so what do you spend most of your personal time on?
So like I told you, so whenever I used to do these trainings or when my students would come in, I would give them this you know, slideshow where I would put up a picture and have 5 words describing me, and the last one would be, I would say, spiritual. And honestly, I had no idea what, like, I had an idea, I was spiritual, but now where I stand in life, it's become so different. So, Mujahid, 3 years ago, I got introduced to meditation. And oh my God, it has completely changed my mind. I am insanely in love with meditation. My friends who've seen me like this energetic, happening person all over the place cannot believe that I can sit in one space for an hour, silent, meditate, have a smile on my face, and be this in the Zen. Everybody's like, she be that? And when I finish off from there, I have a glow on my face, and you know, it's so definitely it's meditation. I walk in my garden barefoot so that it gets me grounded. 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 of the moon. Okay, the lunar calendar wise, Chaudhry ka chand, 2 days here, 2 days there. I will definitely meditate. I mean, the whole world anything can be happening, but I have to do
Uh-huh.
my meditations at that time. They are so important to me. So
Okay.
with meditation, when you see me as this yogi and meditator, I also love dance. So for my own self, I switch on the music and I dance and
Mm-hmm.
I dance and I dance and I just love it. And of course, when there are some events and functions in school, I'm one of the teachers who dances with my students. And then when I have the rest of the time, I'm always on the road trying to do something or the other, trying to get something done and driving through the city. So if any of my students are like getting in touch, they'll be like, oh, miss, when do you eventually get home? And it's like usually late. So, and
But
one more thing that you would find me doing a lot would be on the phone, connecting with people. And there are a lot of people who tell me their stories. I somehow counsel people through when they're down. And there are a lot of people who have given me this feedback, whether it's an adult who is 70 or someone who is 14 or someone who's 40, that
Mhm.
somehow, alhamdulillah, may Allah always keep it this way, they have an energy that I help them lift their spirits up. So these are the few things that I am surrounded with.
जबरदस्त जबरदस्त अच्छा मैम आपकी मोटिवेशन क्या है मतलब even I know like you just mentioned that you're out late, you're driving around the city doing things for the general betterment of the society, so what's your driving force behind all of it?
It's the heart, it's the passion, it's the desire to do something for Allah's people. You know, my motivation comes from the divine source. I don't do it for sawab. I don't do it for jannat and dozakh. I do it because it is for Allah's people, and I want to do something for His people. That's it, and that
Beautiful.
is one source that just pushes me. And you know, if you want to be a volunteer, you have to be passionate. You have to be the crazy one. You have to be a person जिसको लोग कहें कि ये तो नहीं हो सकता, and then you suddenly say, of course ये हो सकता है, क्यों नहीं हो सकता, हम करके दिखाएंगे.
बिल्कुल
And जो अक्सर लोग कहते हैं वो फिर कर भी जाते हैं. So you know,
जबरदस्त
and you have to have that energy जब आप थक रहे हो, आप टूट रहे हो, आपका दिल नहीं चाह रहा हो बिस्तर से निकलने का, और फिर भी आप निकलते हैं और कहते हैं because it's important, it's for Allah's people. Yeah.
जबरदस्त अच्छा आजकल का जो टाइम है वो गोइंग थ्रू दिस पेंडेमिक, आजकल के टाइम में किस तरीके से लोग वॉलंटियर कर सकते हैं और सोसाइटी को बेहतर बना सकते हैं?
So in COVID times, like I told you, we are doing right now, it's so amazing. People can join the Indus Hospital Network. People can do online, like, with this technology coming around and this online work happening, so much has improved. Like bank transfers are so fast. You have Zoom. I mean, I was telling someone कि देखो अल्लाह सुब्हाना ताला का निज़ाम के ये पेंडेमिक देने से पहले जूम जैसी चीज दे दी और इस तरह की चीजें दे दी. अगर नहीं होते तो हम क्या करते? I mean, the whole education industry is using that. We're using it for meetings. We're using so much more. So, you know, with Zoom, with WhatsApp, with all other technology, with phone call being so easy, you know, you can call up people, you can tell them about your what you're working for, your cause, your awareness, and you could fundraise. When you could fundraise, you could even teach people, you know. You could definitely find a cousin or a friend's sibling or a neighbor. You know, like I have students who have started on Facebook the online teaching, and they were like fundraising for Indus Hospital through that. So they charged a certain fee for it. So you could do it for free. So you know, there's so many opportunities. You could do this drive of collecting things and just send, you know, asking people to come over, like, you know, there are organizations that will come and collect it, or you could send it through Kareem or through Rider. There's so many ways of getting things done. But सबसे पहला सवाल है, do you want to do it? If you want to do it, the universe will definitely come up with a way, and and you know, like Robin Hood Army, they're collecting in kind. You know, so there's so much ration drives happening. People are transferring, and you know, I mean, when COVID happened, imagine the entire waiters, or the whole group of waiters, all the people working in salons, so many domestic staff, so many what happened to them? In a second, everything collapsed. Okay. And then these were the organizations that, picked things up and,
Bilkul, agreed. Respect.
So,
yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for you guys, चीजें और ज़्यादा खराब होती. And yeah, I'm actually personally, I'm extremely grateful to people such as yourself, जो हमेशा
I
रहे
mean,
हैं हमारे लिए और हमारी सोसाइटी के लिए.
अच्छा, और एक और चीज मैं मुझे क्लियर भी करूंगी.
जी.
हमेशा अगर आप अच्छा काम कर रहे हो ना, बहुत हम्बल रहें, क्योंकि आपको अल्लाह ने चूज किया है वो काम करने के लिए. इसमें आपकी कोई बड़ाई नहीं है. Allah has like 8 billion people around here, right? He could pick anyone. He could put it in anyone's heart. I mean, I appreciate people who are going out there, risking their lives, doing these things. People call them crazy. People call them, what are you doing? All of those things. Very grateful, but this should never ever get to our heads. It should never get to our heads.
True. Okay. So I have a question. I just came up with this question. जो अभी आपने बात की, because I've been on the streets as well. I mean, you sometimes with you. तो बहुत सारी दफा it's very difficult to because you see like we've once again, with all due respect to the people who are out there, sometimes when you're giving out stuff, it gets very difficult to actually manage things. And you've at times you've got to raise your voice. At times you've got to use the people who are there with you. Your maybe even use your security guards just to get things in order. Is that justified?
Well, see, Mujahid, some things are, you see, some things you cannot do without. Okay, if our people are in a line and they're organized and they're not coming over you, so that sometimes what happens when people go and distribute iftari, literally it becomes so scary for people who are not experienced that there will be a whole mob on you, and
Bilkul,
you
exactly.
could like be crippled under that. So for those situations, you need, and please remember, when we're giving things as well, we need to teach them to take things with dignity. We need to give things with dignity. We need to tell them there's patience. We need to tell them if it's yours, it will come to you. So, like last Ramzan, I was working with this deaf reach camp, and literally people were so organized. They would stand in a line and they knew they would get it. There was a perfect line. But of course, we had guards and all of that were there. And that was required. There's certain things that are required, and it's for at that time वो जितने सारे लोग भी होते हैं उन सब की बेहतरी में भी होता है कि कोई किसी और को धक्का दे रहा है, कुछ और हो रहा है, कोई गिर रहा है, किसी को चोट लग रही है, कोई छीन रहा है, उसमें खाना गिर गया सारा, तो बेहतर होता है कि आप तरीके से उनको स्ट्रीमलाइन करें,
ऑर्गेनाइज रखें चीजों को.
Yes. And you shouldn't feel like, मैं ये नहीं कह रही कि आप बदतमीजी करें, आप बिल्कुल बदतमीजी नहीं करें, आप स्टर्न आवाज में उनको डिसिप्लिन करें, उनको तरीका सिखाएं, क्योंकि अगर हम नहीं सिखाएंगे तो फिर इवेंचुअली कौन सिखाएगा.
Ma'am, this is our final question for the evening. Actually, this is our second last question. इसके अंदर ये है कि जब आपने कम्युनिटी सर्विस शुरू की, तो how did your friends and family take it?
Oh my God, I started at a time where this was not a norm. These things were not a norm. And trust me, people really found me crazy. And even my own family, like I literally had to like juggle between my studies and, because I was crazily involved with the camps and, उसी ज़माने में earthquake आया था और इतना मुझे एक अजीब सी बस मुझे होता था कि एग्जाम भी छोड़ो, भागो, जल्दी जल्दी करो और भागो कैंप पे ना, because there's so much we need to do. And I would go to the PF म्यूजियम भी और यूनिवर्सिटी में कैंप भी, बस मैं वहीं बैठी रहती. So my own dad, may Allah give him a place in heaven, he was not in favor. He's like, पढ़ाई करो and get, and I understand where he was coming from, but my passion was intense. And over these years, in the last probably years, he was able to really, really acknowledge what I was doing, appreciate what I was doing. He was super proud. And I think my entire family and friends are very proud of what I'm doing, how I inspire children, how am I making a difference. But there is still a set of friends who say, what are you doing with your life? You can earn so much more money. You can do so much more. You have so much more potential. But I guess everyone has their perspective. I'm going with my heart. I don't know where I will be in the next year also, you know. But I know I want to do goodness. I want to be able to inspire people. I want to be able to add to the world. And I think that's what I've been doing. And fingers crossed, inshallah, inshallah. I hope I continue to do that till my last breath.
Inshallah. अच्छा ठीक तो मैम this is our final question for the evening. मुझे ये बताएं कि what kind of a legacy would you want to leave behind?
So, as I said to you about my legacy, I really believe in love and kindness. And I would want to I teach each child of mine that, you know, do things with love and passion, be very kind, fall in love with everything you do. Like literally, I would say even when you're washing your bathrooms, enjoy it. Have the fun element. Fall in love with things you do. किसी को भी देखो, हमेशा प्यार की निगाह से देखो, kindness की निगाह से देखो. When you do all those things, always have a smile on your face. Because with that energy, you are adding to the goodness of the world. You're increasing the vibration of the world. You are just highlighting things and making the world a beautiful place. This has been my legacy. This has been my dream that every single person that I touch, I make their belief in love, kindness, and compassion stronger, and make them believe that no matter how tough life is, because life is tough, it is still very beautiful. We can make a difference. We are making a difference, and it surely is. It's very beautiful. So, and for the next generation, they need to see young parents, adults around them as positive people, as change makers, as doers, as people who believe and have the faith in the universe doing good for everyone. That's what I would think. So, yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Ma'am Fatima, for taking our time and joining us today. It was great talking to you. And I love what you do. Please do keep doing it. And looking forward to working with you.
Thank you so much. And I would just like to say in the end, Happy Independence Day. I am so glad I have Pakistan. I am so proud to be a Pakistani. I hope we add to Pakistan. I hope we work through the challenges that are happening around us. And I hope we make a better place for a young generation to come. Mujahid, you've done some great, fantastic job in community service as well. I've known about your ventures. Keep doing that. Keep inspiring. We will definitely be doing a lot more work together, inshallah, and making this world a better place. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye. Goodbye.